Hey guys, welcome to another vlog. I hope you are doing well. And yeah, so in the spirit of Love Month, February, Valentine's Month, I'm going to share 7 tips on how to survive a long distance relationship. Having been through one for like 4 years, yeah, it's still fresh on my mind, some of the things that were important for us to keep our relationship going and eventually closing the distance. So if you are considering being in a long distance relationship or just are in a long distance relationship and need some encouragement, this video is definitely for you. The first tip, more like a reflective question, is are you long distance material? So like before you even get into a long distance relationship, and yeah, I know that obviously you don't choose where the person you fall in love with comes from or where they live, but it's quite a big commitment, and so you really do need to like sit with that and ask yourself if you are long distance material. Like, are you capable of being faithful in a relationship where you don't get to see the person every day? Can you handle the emotional implications of being away from your partner for long periods of time? How is this going to affect your career or your life plans and things like that? So if you haven't already gotten into a long distance relationship, or you've just gotten into the long distance relationships, this is something that you should really consider and calculate the weight, because it's a lot. It's a big sacrifice and it's a big commitment. But I will say that for the right person, it's worth it. And only you know in your heart if that person is worth it for you. Or the next tip of surviving a long distance relationship, for me, that is having a defined date or plan to end the distance. So if you might start the relationship off getting to know each other and maybe meeting once or twice, and then from there you might then want to find out if you want to commit, really commit, by relocating to one location together, or one person goes to the other's place, right? So the reason why I say that you need to have an end date to the distance is I watch Catfish, guys, and I'm always so shocked when people say they've been talking online and being in a relationship with someone for 5 years, 7 years, and they haven't actually met up in person. Are you kidding me? That kind of makes sense. Maybe if you were dating in high school and you guys are still young, you can't have the freedom to travel independently and stuff like that. But as an adult, you don't want to be in that situation where you are talking to someone for years and you have video calls. Maybe you don't even no, Catfish is the extreme, because those people, they don't even have video calls with the people they claim to be in relationships with. It's just voice call and messages basically. But you don't want to be in a situation where you are in a relationship with someone, you've committed emotionally, perhaps even there's finances involved and things like that, and only for the relationship to fall apart or not go anywhere because you have not made a plan to be together, to be living in one location together. So I strongly encourage you that if you are in a long distance relationship, that you should have an end date, like an expiry date for that long distance. Like in 2 years, we are gonna close the distance. In 2 years, we are gonna get married, and 1, 2, 3. That is so important, and it builds like a level of, how can I say, it's encouraging for you in the relationship to know that it's not permanent, that it's just a temporary situation which you guys are actively working towards closing. So in my previous video where I was sharing about how I met my husband, we dated long distance basically for 4 years, and he visited me I think like 4 times in those 4 years, like for a month or more at least. And then we got married in our 3rd year of dating, and then by the end of last year we closed the distance. So that all happened within 4 years, which I think it's reasonable. I've seen people that are able to do it like, you know, within a short amount of time, but that is always like dependent on your circumstances. Like, are you still in school? Does your career allow for it? Does your finances allow for it? Maybe your family situation, does that allow for you or your partner to move, to be together? So yeah, always have an expiry date for the distance part of the relationship. The second tip is open communication. Not the second tip, the third tip, sorry. It's having open communication. So if you're in a long distance relationship, you want to make sure that you guys have great communication. Like, it doesn't mean texting a lot or being on the phone all day with them. It can mean that if it works for you. So basically you need to find out what level of communication each one of you needs, and what you guys can both commit to. How does it fit around your everyday life? So for instance, from early on in the relationship, I told my husband that, look, I need video calls like every day, otherwise you're not real to me, you're just a figment of my imagination. So we had daily calls, past tense. Yeah, so we had a daily call, usually like in the evenings, just before we sleep. But during the day, like in the morning, we would like text each other, and during the day we would just like text each other little tidbits about our day, like, oh, I'm trying this meal at this restaurant today, or oh, look what happened, or hey, the volcano erupted. So we would just like talk throughout the day and then end off at night in the evenings with a video call. Another thing is like, you need to decide how much communication do you guys need. Do you need to be on the phone every hour of the day? Do you only need to talk once a week? Whatever, but it must be a mutual agreement that pacifies both of you guys, and make sure that you're checking in on each other. And part of that communication, it's always advised like not to have your fights or arguments via text messages, that you should rather do them like over a video call, because like, you know, sometimes messaging can get texting can get lost in translation. So it's better to work out whatever issues that you have like face to face. For me personally and my husband, that doesn't work for us. We are writers. We like to write down things and take it from there. Like, that's how we communicated. That's what worked for us. So I don't know, you'll need to decide for yourselves, like, how are you guys going to handle conflicts? Are you gonna wait for a video call, or rather just, respond in text because you can articulate yourself better there? But yeah, have a good and open communication. It just causes like a level of trust, and it just feels good, like when your partner is communicating with you and you feel part of their lives when they share that, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I wish you were here, etc., etc. So then the next point on how to survive a long distance relationship, it's kind of linked to having an expiration date for the distance. It's having something to look forward to. So that just means that obviously you guys are going to have the closing of your long distance relationship. You're going to be working towards a date that you are aiming to close the long distance relationship. But while you're figuring that out, have things that you guys are looking forward to. And that could be something like one of you traveling to go see each other. So like after every visit, have an estimate of like, okay, I will see you again after 4 months or in 6 months, and have a date for that, because that keeps like hope alive in the relationship. And life is just better when you have something that you're looking forward to. And like even just in life in general, like if you're single or whatever, but you have something that you're looking forward to, like, oh, I'm going on a holiday, or I'm going to try this festival, or I'm going to go to some retreat or something like that on a specific date. That keeps you excited for the future and keeps you, kind of hopeful. So that's something that you can also do to increase hope and increase the excitement levels in your relationship. Then the next thing is, can you afford to be in a long distance relationship? Like, you really need to think about this. If you have like the finances to deal with like a long distance relationship, and it's going to differ, like, is the person in the same country but they are in a different state or different province from you, or even if it's like overseas, like they live on a different continent from you, what are the financial implications of just maintaining the relationship, and B, the final relocation. So in terms of like maintaining the relationship, I mean like the cost of sending each other gifts and stuff like that. But I think that's easy because a lot of countries are like, they've got online shops and stuff like that. So it's quite easy to, send each other gifts or like little random surprises or something like that. But then the other short-term costs that you need to consider is paying for like a flight to see your person. So depending on how far apart you guys are, it's going to be high or a low expense for that. So you might want to think about how that will impact you being able to be in that relationship. And then the last part of it will obviously be like, can you at the end, like when it's time to move, how much is that gonna cost? Like moving your life over, visa costs, residence permit costs, the cost of maybe you guys will have to buy a new house together or rent out a new place together. How much is that gonna cost? If you need to start over in terms of going to school that side. Those are some of the things that you need to think about financially. So you guys should definitely have a financial plan about your relationship as well. Then let me see. The next tip I would suggest is having a support group. So when you're in a long distance relationship, you don't want to surround yourself with negative people or people that are going to plant little seeds that are going to make you feel insecure about your relationship and make you feel insecure about your partner, whether you can trust them or not. You need people that are going to be in your corner, that are going to be like, oh, let's do something together, so that they can cheer you up, or they'll be able to just empathize with you, basically, and not like question, how do you know he's not cheating? How do you know? I mean, those are valid points, obviously, like knowing that your partner is faithful, but it's really good to have people in your corner that even if they don't understand what you're going through, but they can just be there to encourage you, and you know that you're not like alone. Oh my god, like what are they doing upstairs via Gita? Okay, anyway, so sorry about that, guys. This is, these apartments, I don't know what's going on upstairs. Like, are they renovating? It's been like this whole week. Anyway, so the next thing that I would actually recommend is, it's very important to have your own life. Don't press pause on your own life. Like, I spoke about this a bit in my previous video where I said that I admire my friends who handled like being single better than I did, and I also like admire people who handle their long distance relationships better than I did, because it's like I put my life on pause. Like, I'll go where when my husband is here, when Erika is here. I'll go when my husband is here. Like, I put so much things on hold, and I was just like, I'm not gonna do anything until I get this permit. I'm too sad. But I say this to say that don't get too like zoned in into like waiting for the person to be with you so that you can do things. Like, have your own life, go out with your friends, don't isolate yourself, go out with your friends, have activities that you are excited to do. I feel like doing that was really refreshing for me. It was very helpful at times when I remembered to actually apply that to my life. Like, if I had events that I was looking forward to, or I was going to be doing something fun that actually lessens the pain of being apart, instead of focusing on the pain of being apart, then you are just living life and doing other things while you wait for the distance to close. I just want to add one more thing. Like, in terms of having a support group, like when you're in a long distance relationship, usually it's very nice if you have another person that is in a long distance relationship, because then they can really understand your struggles. Like, I had the comfort of all my friends when I was in long distance, but then another form of support came from social media, like connecting with other people that were in long distance relationships, or basically who had moved to like Iceland. For me, like, I connected with those people and they were just really encouraging. You can ask for advice on how to navigate things like visas and stuff like that. So those are the type of friendly people that you can meet online, and it can be another source of encouragement for your long distance journey. So yeah. Okay, I think I've covered more than 7 points, right? But yeah, those are basically the nuggets of advice or wisdom that I wanted to share with you guys about dating long distance. And if you are actually in a long distance relationship, or were in a long distance relationship and you close the distance, please comment below and like share your experience, like what tips or tricks helped you to like stay strong through the whole period and eventually close the distance, or even things that like backfired on you if it didn't work out. What are the advices that you would share with other people? So yeah, that's all from me, guys. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, please press the like button, and if you want to see more of me, please subscribe to my channel. And yeah, if you don't know like the story of how I met my husband, or basically how I met my husband and how I landed up in Iceland, there's a playlist for that, so you can check out the videos there. Okay, bye.